Hello and welcome to World Now on TVC News. We start off in Syria, where shops are reopening and people are returning to work in the capital city of Damascus as day-to-day life gradually resumes. The Prime Minister of Syria's new transitional government, Mohammed al-Bashir, while speaking on this, said it is time for people to enjoy stability and calm. We have more details in this report.
Numerous Syrian refugees have been returning to Syria from Turkey and Lebanon since the fall of the Assad regime. Many are pictured loaded with personal belongings, and some are carrying young children across the border. Pope Francis, while reacting to this development, stated that he prays people in Syria may live in peace and security and mutual respect. Meanwhile, as the new Syrian Prime Minister calls for stability and calm in the region, in the last few months, Qatar announced it intends to reopen its embassy in Damascus soon. This is coming more than a decade after it was stormed by supporters of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Syria's new transitional Prime Minister says one of his first goals is to bring back the millions of Syrian refugees who are abroad. Elsewhere, Syrian rebel forces say they have taken control of the oil-rich eastern city of Deir al-Zor from Kurdish forces as they try to secure the country's resources. It comes as Israel confirmed it carried out attacks on Syria's naval fleet and conducted 350 airstrikes as part of its efforts to neutralize military assets in the country. The Syrian Observatory of Human Rights reports that for the fourth day in a row, Israel has targeted the Syrian military. Israeli warplanes launched raids on a number of radar sites across Syria and destroyed aircraft and radar equipment at the military airport. Since the fall of the Assad regime on Sunday, Israel has carried out more than 352 airstrikes in 13 Syrian provinces. Kremlin spokesman, while reacting to the attacks, says Russia wants to see Syria quickly stabilized, slamming Israel's strikes on the country and the creation of a buffer zone along the Israeli-annexed Golan Heights. The spokesman went on to add that Moscow was in contact with the new Syrian leadership over the fate of Russia's military bases in the country.
Global affairs analyst Benga Onifade joins me on the World Now to discuss the new reality of Syrians as well as the attacks from Israel. Good to have you join us, Mr. Onifade. A new transitional government is in place and the people are really just trying to, move on with their lives. What do you think this reality is like?
Yeah, good afternoon. I think it's, of course, it's a new beginning, considering if you look at Syria, they've been on a protracted civil war, which started from, we're talking about Arab Spring from March 2011. And we're talking about a country that was governed by, Bashar al-Assad's father. And of course, he came from London from his medical job to overtake their country. But of course, I think the country got fed up. The rebels took power. Well, they wanted to take power. People started springing up. They wanted a change. And, we're talking about a country that's been beset by, we're talking about, pre-war population of more than 620. Well, they've lost about 620,000 over that time. So, yes, it's a new beginning for them. We all know the implication of war from, we talked about the days of Arab Spring, and I think that protracted very long. And then we had ISIS, which started all over again. It's a war that's drawn the neighbors from Hezbollah, from Iran, of course, lately Russia, and then, of course, I think the world at large, really, because ISIS was another evil that stemmed as a result of that war. It kind of distracted the world all over. So I think it's actually a great beginning, a fresh start. We're talking about millions of Syrians which have been displaced, in all over the world, in Germany, in the UK. So yes, I think it's a fresh new beginning for the people. They can actually decide to go back home to where they are. They come from, see their families again. Some lands actually been displaced, properties, etc. So overall, I think it's a thing of beauty, it's a thing of joy. We could all see all over their faces that, the menace, Bashar al-Assad, which they want, is now fully gone. And yes, they could all rebuild and start to rebuild the new country that they know before and start afresh.
All right. But in the face of that joy, as you put it, is the attacks coming from Israel. You know, Israel has confirmed that it carried out attacks on Syria's naval fleet, and it conducted about 350 airstrikes. It said it's part of efforts to neutralize military assets in the country. Why would Israel want to do this?
I mean, if you think about it, during that whole war, we had chemical weapons, or IEDs, which in the form of barrel bombs, which were displaced or thrown by Bashar al-Assad himself. And most of this, again, they also had Iran, which is supporting the war. We had Hezbollah, and recently Israel just signed a joint agreement with Hezbollah, to seize all should we say, military operations against each other. So, of course, Israel is trying to douse the flame around the general neighbors or neighboring countries as well. And of course, like we said, Hezbollah has actually been heavily supporting them. Israel, on the long term, of course, they want to make sure they are able to get Iran and to just literally, cut the hands of Iran from feeding this guy. So yes, understandably from Israel's side perspective, Syria's losses and Israel win. And of course, it's not all just great that Bashar al-Assad is gone. How about we just decapitate that entire military target? And we know that's another force gone, and then we can focus elsewhere. So Hezbollah has signed an agreement with Hezbollah. That's been overseen by France, America, and a few other countries. Now Israel's arms being cut off. Now we can actually all narrow our focus towards decapitating Iran on the long run again. So that's where Israel is coming from.
All right. And we know that already the Iranian leader, the Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, has said that Iran will not be weakened by Assad's fall from power. How do you see the Middle East unfold in the days and weeks ahead, especially considering the lingering conflict between Israel and Hamas?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and that's a big one. We are looking at Iran has actually been the powerhouse of the Middle East. Iran's been the powerhouse, and now Iran is not a Hezbollah, it's not Syria. Iran is actually not even Saudi Arabia. Iran alone can, of course, face to face can handle Israel, in terms of face to face combat. But at the same time, we're talking about Iran. Then, of course, they've got the backing from Russia, which is like the second powerhouse, world over. And of course, while Russia is not exactly on anyone's side, Russia is more about, Russia's got its own power to deal, its own force to deal with. But of course, I don't think that will weaken Iran. But you've got the big powerhouse, the United States, you've got the EU out there who are, of course, trying to get Iran to be calm. I mean, I think if you look back a few years ago during Obama's regime or session in government, he actually paid Iran off to stop building the nuclear, to suspend the nuclear exercise that they've got, really, if you got it that way. So yes, I think Iran is actually another big headache to deal with, for Israel to deal with. It's not going to go away overnight. I don't think no matter how many strikes Israel will go at Iran would not just stand by looking. But as long as the world, can keep Iran at bay and just can't keep them to stay quiet, to stay calm without any fracas, that would be great for Israel. That would be great for both sides, I guess, to say as well. But yes, I don't think the decapitation of Syria is enough for Iran to just go away quietly or sleep under the carpet.
All right, then. Global Affairs Analyst Gbenga Onifade, thank you so much for talking to us on World Now.
Thanks for having me.